Alex Eala makes it to the second round of the mature Madrid Open. What a professional, mature performance that was against one of the world's best ever in former world number 11, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. This time a qualifier, and she moves past the 34-year-old in some style. It's brilliant from Eala once again.
What if I told you that a young woman from the Philippines just walked into one of the most prestigious clay court tournaments in the world and completely embarrassed a former Grand Slam finalist? Not barely beat her. Not scraped through in 3 sets. She dismantled her. She took apart Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, a woman who has played in the finals of Roland Garros, and handed her a straight sets beatdown that left the entire crowd at the Arancha Sanchez Stadium standing in absolute disbelief. The score was 6-3, 6-3. Clinical. Ruthless. And by the time this video is over, you are going to understand exactly why this victory is so much bigger than just a scoreline on a piece of paper. Mabuhay, tennis fans, and welcome back to Golf Vibes, the one channel on YouTube that never sleeps when Philippine tennis makes history. I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now. Put the phone down, sit up straight, and give me your full attention, because what Alex Eala did today in Madrid is not just a match result. It is a statement. It is a warning. And every single player left in this draw has seen the final score, and they are quietly terrified. Now, before we break down the numbers, and trust me, these numbers are going to absolutely shock you, let us first understand exactly what Alexandra was walking into today. Because this was not some easy opening round gift from the draw committee. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova is a seasoned, battle-hardened professional who knows European clay courts the way most people know their own living room. She was fighting for her professional life after battling through the grueling qualifying rounds, meaning she came into this match completely match-tough, fully adjusted to the high altitude of Madrid, and physically warmed up while many of the seeded players were still finding their rhythm. She was not some soft first-round opponent. She was a wounded lioness, desperate for a confidence-boosting win, and she had every reason in the world to believe she was going to get one today. But something went completely wrong for her the moment she stepped across the net from our girl. And the statistics are going to tell you exactly what that something was. Let us start with the serve, because everything in professional tennis begins and ends with the serve. When you are facing a heavy-hitting, aggressive returner like Pavlyuchenkova, your first serve is not just a weapon, it is your armor. Miss it too often and you are inviting a grenade launcher to fire at your second serve. The data from today's match shows that Alexandra landed a jaw-dropping 70% of her first serves. Think about what that number actually means. 7 out of every 10 times she stepped up to that baseline under the blazing Madrid sky, with the crowd watching, with the pressure building, with a former Grand Slam finalist waiting on the other side, she put that ball exactly where she wanted it. That is not good. That is elite. That is the kind of first serve percentage that belongs in a coaching manual. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Landing the first serve is one thing. What you do after it lands is what separates the great from the truly special. When Alexandra got her first serve in today, she won a staggering 76% of those points. 3 out of every 4 times that first serve landed in the box, she completely controlled the rally, dictated the tempo, and finished the point on her own terms. She was virtually unplayable on serve. And while you are sitting with that number, let me flip the script on you and tell you what was happening on the other side of the net, because the contrast is almost embarrassing. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, a player globally recognized for her explosive, bone-crushing ground strokes, managed to win only 50% of the points when she landed her own first serve. That means Alexandra Eala was stepping inside the baseline, taking the ball early, absorbing all that power, and sending it back with even more vicious interest. She was reading Pavlyuchenkova's serve like she already knew every word on the page. Now stay with me here, because we are about to get to the part of this match that completely reveals the character of Alexandra Eala as a competitor. And this is the part that gave me chills when I looked at the data. Break points. This is where tennis matches are truly decided. This is where nerves take over, where legs go heavy, where the voice in your head gets loud. Pavlyuchenkova created 6 break point opportunities against Alexandra throughout this match. 6 separate moments where the veteran could have grabbed the momentum, shifted the energy, and clawed her way back into the fight. Now I need you to think about how you would feel facing 6 break points against a former Grand Slam finalist on clay. Do you know how many of those 6 break points Pavlyuchenkova actually converted? What? Just 1. 5 times Alex Eala stood at the edge of the cliff with the wind in her face, and she did not flinch. She did not tighten up. She found another gear every single time. That is not coaching. You can coach footwork. You can coach tactics. You cannot coach that. That is the heart of a warrior beating inside a 20-year-old chest on the biggest clay court stage in the world. And when the roles were reversed, when it was Alexandra's turn to press her foot on the throat, she showed absolutely zero mercy. She generated 8 break-point opportunities on Pavlyuchenkova's serve and converted 4 of them. A 50% conversion rate on break points against a former French Open finalist. She broke serve 4 times in 2 sets. She identified the cracks in the veteran's game, she attacked them without hesitation, and she tore the match wide open before Pavlyuchenkova even had time to adjust her strategy. This level of tactical maturity from a 20-year-old is something that coaches spend entire careers trying to build in players. Alex Eala appears to already have it fully installed and running. But let us zoom out and look at the full picture, because the total points won metric is where this victory goes from impressive to historically dominant. In a match lasting just 2 sets, Alexandra won 68 total points compared to Pavlyuchenkova's 50. An 18-point differential. In professional tennis, where matches are regularly decided by a single net cord or a millimeter on the baseline, 18 points is not a gap, it is a canyon. It is a demolition. It means Alexandra was not just winning the crucial points. She was consistently outplaying her opponent across almost every single rally of the entire match. 12 total games won compared to the Russian 6. 8 service games held compared to 5. The scoreboard is not telling half the story. The full story is even more one-sided. And here is the statistic that genuinely terrifies me on behalf of whoever plays Alexandra in the next round. Maximum consecutive points won. When Pavlyuchenkova got hot, she managed to string together 5 consecutive points, a decent run, enough to steal a game, maybe shift some momentum. But when Alexandra caught fire in this match, she won 9 consecutive points. 9 straight points against a woman who has stood in the final of a major Grand Slam. That is more than 2 complete games won at love back-to-back without the Russian even touching the scoreboard. You could see it on Pavlyuchenkova's face. She was looking over at her coach's box with that look that every tennis player dreads showing, the look of someone who has run out of answers. The international commentary booth went quiet, because everyone watching knew in that moment they were witnessing something rare. Now, because this channel believes in honest, complete analysis and not just highlights, there is one area where the coaching team at the Rafa Nadal Academy will absolutely be sitting down with the data before the next round. The second serve win percentage came in at 37% today. That number, against the genuine top 5 players in the world, would be hunted mercilessly. The absolute elite of women's tennis live for a weak second serve the way sharks live for blood in the water. It is something Alexandra will need to sharpen as she goes deeper into these big WTA 1000 events. But, and this is a massive but, that 37% did not matter today, and here is exactly why. Because her first serve was so overwhelmingly dominant at 70%, she simply did not put herself in enough second serve situations to make it a real problem. She protected her vulnerability by maximizing her strength. That is not luck. That is tactical intelligence. That is a player and a coaching staff who know exactly what the game plan needs to be and execute it without deviation. The physical side of this victory also deserves recognition, because people underestimate what Madrid clay actually demands from your body. The altitude is punishing. The air is thin and your lungs feel it after the first few games. The clay grips your shoes, and every slide, every stop, every recovery requires significantly more muscular effort than any hard court surface. Alexandra Eala won 42 service points compared to Pavlyuchenkova's 26 and looked completely fresh from the first point to the final match point. Every grinding hour under the Spanish sun in Mallorca at the Rafa Nadal Academy has been quietly building a physical machine that can outlast, outrun, and out-hit players who are physically renowned on the tour. So what does a 6-3 demolition of a former Roland Garros finalist at a WTA 1000 mandatory event actually mean for the Philippines and for Southeast Asian tennis as a whole? It means everything. Alex Eala is not just winning tennis matches right now. She is physically tearing down walls that have kept Southeast Asian players locked out of the top echelons of the professional singles game for decades. This victory pours massive ranking points directly into her account and pushes her closer to that top 30 ranking, the number that changes everything. Top 30 means you are automatically seeded at the Grand Slams. It means you avoid the best players in the opening rounds. It means the tour, the media, and your opponents stop looking at you as an underdog and start looking at you as a genuine threat. With performances like this one, that ranking is coming faster than most people realize. To every young kid back home in the Philippines holding a racket on a public court in Manila, Cebu, or Davao and dreaming about playing under stadium lights one day, look at these numbers. Look at the 68 total points won. Look at the 5 break points saved under maximum pressure. Look at the 9 consecutive points that broke a Grand Slam finalist's spirit on European clay. This is your proof. You do not need to be born in Europe or America to dominate this sport at the highest level. You need relentless discipline, a heart that refuses to stop, and an unbreakable belief that the word impossible is just someone else's opinion that has nothing to do with you. The journey through Madrid is nowhere near finished. This was the opening statement. This was the warning shot that every remaining player in the draw has now received loud and clear. Alex Eala has arrived on the clay, and she did not come quietly. Her lefty topspin forehand is perfectly calibrated for this altitude. Her movement is impeccable. And her mindset, cold, calculated, and completely fearless, is the thing that is going to carry her further than even the most optimistic prediction suggests. Now Golf Vibes family, flood the comments right now. Which statistic hit you hardest today? Was it the 70% first serve accuracy? Was it saving 5 of 6 break points under suffocating pressure? Or was it those 9 consecutive points that simply erased a former Grand Slam finalist from the scoreboard? Drop your answer below and give me your prediction for the next round. Smash that like button so the algorithm pushes this story to every corner of the world. Subscribe and turn on the bell because we are tracking every match, every statistic, and every historic moment of this incredible career. This is Golf Vibes. Maraming Salamat. And I will see you in the next video.